I'm Sonia. Welcome to my channel and welcome to my kitchen. Today, I'm going to be teaching you how to make tortilla soup. Mine's a little different. We're going to try to make the carbs lower, the protein higher, and just a little bit more healthy. We're also going to be using a lower fat cheese for the top, which you don't even need to put if you don't want it. It's just personal preference. So I'm going to show you everything. I do want to let you know that I'll have the recipe in the description box as well as the nutritional information and the macros for however you guys are counting everything. Well, I'll let you know what I'm going to do is measure everything out, then create it as a recipe in MyFitnessPal, divide it by the number of servings, and boom, there you go. So if you are going to be making your own, everybody's gonna have a different possibly amount of chicken, because I'm starting with a whole chicken. I'm gonna get into that. And maybe some of you are only gonna be using breast, maybe to make it even lower fat, or you could also add in just some regular breast chicken meat, or whatever you want, or you can just use the thighs too. It doesn't really matter. Maybe you don't even care that has a little more fat. I don't. I just wanted to make it a little bit lower carb and a little bit more protein. So let's get started. And if you're new here, welcome, and consider subscribing. And before you leave, please give this a big thumbs up. Okay, let's get started. Okay, you guys, we are going to start with just an entire whole chicken. I'm putting it into some water. I'm adding a little salt, and we are just going to bring this thing to a hard boil until the meat's falling off the bone. And then I'm going to be starting to cut up some celery. Now I want to let you know, if you don't like one of these vegetables, you could omit it. You know, I would say that tortilla soup, depending on where you eat it, if you went to a different restaurant or different people's houses and ate it, I feel like everybody puts in a little bit of different things. I like this recipe because it's healthy and I add in vegetables, it tastes delicious, and that's why I go with this. I've been making it this way for a very long time, and I just think this is what tastes the best. But again, if you are like anti-carrot or anti-celery or whatever, then you don't have to put it in. In a second, we are going to be actually weighing all of this out, because I'm going to tell you the calories and the macros of each one. So here it is. You're going to bring this chicken, like I said, to a hard boil. It is falling apart, literally. See? I just lined a cookie sheet with foil so I can take it out, put it on there, and let it cool down. And then I'm just going to strip off just the meat. I'm not going to use the skin or anything like that. So, because we're trying to make this healthier. There's my text. He's always in the kitchen. Of course he is. It's, I think, where he lives. I think we all know that. Okay, I'm back. It's been a few hours. I put my broth in the fridge while I was gone, and my chicken in the refrigerator. I had to go pick up my daughter from school. She's safe for O&M. Anybody know what that is? Tell me in the comments if you know. I'll tell you at the end what it means. Okay, I'm going to strip all of the skin off my chicken. Hang on. It's too dark. I need to get closer to my light and I didn't want to move it. I know, lazy. Okay, I'm going to strip all the skin off of my chicken. I've decided I think I'm going to use my chicken breast and my thighs, but it's really up to you. So if you didn't want to use thigh, maybe it's up to you. And then I'm going to add it together, and I'm actually then going to add in my vegetables, and I'm going to create two different soups because my daughter wants chicken noodle soup, of course. So I'm going to just take it apart and add noodles to hers. And the tortilla soup has a little kick, and she doesn't like that. So, okay, let's do this. Oh, one more thing. This. It's like the old school way. I'm sure there's no, you could just like try to take your ladle and take the fat off. I'm going to try this, see how it goes, and try to get the fat off the top of our soup, because remember, we're trying to cut out of whatever we can. Another thing you could do is actually just use stock and chicken breast, but I think using the whole chicken and boiling it, it makes such a better flavor. Okay, I don't know if you guys have ever used one of these to take the fat off your soup or something. They've been around forever. I know my mom even had one when we were growing up. So you pour it in, and actually the fat floats to the top of it. And so it's really cool, and then you can take majority of the fat off of your soup. Again, you could also, if you had time, just let it cool. I took the, you see I poured just a drop, because that's where the fat was in that part. So when you pour it, the fat stays in. Isn't that really cool? And then you can just pour the broth out so you can get the fat off the top of your soup. I think it's a really neat thing. I mean, you could also, a lot of people use it like at Thanksgiving to help with their gravy. I mean, it's It's a cool invention. I think it works well. It does take, you can see some of it still floating, but it gets majority of it out. Okay, one more thing. You could do like cups of carrots, celery, whatever. I'm just gonna actually weigh it on my kitchen scale and do the ounces of like the chicken, all our vegetables. I'll probably do like a liquid measure real quick of the broth of how much I use so I can measure all out for everybody. But these are great if you're trying to, you know, watch what you eat or make sure you're eating enough things. You can get them on Amazon, wherever, and they're great because you can tear them, which means make it go back to 0. So like you have a heavy bowl and you tear it, make it 0. Check the units into, you know, grams or pounds, whatever. And they're also great for baking. So anyways, get yourself one, and this is how I'm figuring it out. Just want everybody to know. Okay, let's go. Okay, let's go back to having some fun. So if you don't have one of these scales, this is kind of how it works. You're gonna pick your unit. I put in my bowl because it's weighing the bowl. When you hit tear, it takes out the amount that the bowl weighs and puts it back to 0. So you're just weighing what's actually in our bowl. So I'm actually doing the chicken breast first, so I weighed them actually individually. I do the breast, and then I had my number, then I added in my dark meat. So when I total this all up, I'm gonna have it in the description box. But again, mine might be slightly different than yours, but I wanted to give you an idea of like how much protein would be in this and how many carbs about would be in each portion, and also depending on how many portions. But I'm gonna do it by the cup. The description box, and I'll give you how I figure everything out there. But I just, like I said, yours might be just a little different. That I'm weighing, put my bowl back, teared it down to 0 so I can weigh exactly each thing. Now, on the vegetables, you could do it by the cups. I decided to do it by the ounces. Again, I'd create these on my FitnessPal. You can use Lose It, whatever app you want to use. I like my FitnessPal because it's super easy to use. It's very user-friendly interface. So putting all our chicken back into my broth, putting in all our vegetables, and I decided to put in a quart of bone broth. I just happen to have some in my pantry. If you wanted to add in a little more, you could add in just chicken broth, it's fine, or just if you had enough. It's because I needed to take some out because I was taking some out before I put in the spices and actually turned tortilla soup, so my daughter was just gonna eat it just plain without any of this. So now I'm adding in 1 can of diced tomatoes, and I'm just gonna pour it into my pot here. And the bone broth supposedly does have more protein than regular chicken broth. I don't know if it does. I just happened to catch it on sale at Costco. So we're also gonna put in some ground cayenne pepper and some cumin. Now I wanna let you know, I go ahead and put in a half a tablespoon of cumin here and 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. But later on, I go back in and add a little bit more. I'll tell you here in a second. Because I normally have never measured this out, ever. I normally just make it and taste it. I've never actually measured it before I made this video. Okay, at this point, you want to give this a little try. I have my little tasting cup. I thought it was a little bit flat tasting. Bend it down. So I think also because I added in the bone broth. Now, if you're watching your sodium, don't do this. But I'm not. So I'm going to just add in like a little better than bouillon to it. Not very much. It's probably like 2 teaspoons to this. And I'm going to add a little bit more cumin. I know not everybody's a cumin lover. Probably going to add in like another teaspoon of this. It just doesn't feel flavorful enough. To be honest, here's the thing. I make tortilla soup all the time. I never measure anything. I know the ingredients, I throw it in, I taste a little, I add a little. That's how it's done, okay? So I've never, actually that's why I was just starting to measure. So I'm gonna add this in and give it a try. You can see I'm actually also frying tortilla chips because my daughter wants real tortilla chips. I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do for a lower carb option here in just 1 second. So here's my idea. See my dogs?
Motion detected.
Son, got him helping out in the back. He's my fry guy now. Okay, this is what we're gonna do for us. These. Oh, upside down. These are like the low carb ones. They're the same exact things as a Mission. These are slightly lower calories. I don't know if it's because their weight is lower or not. I'll look into it and let you know. Okay, so we are gonna take these. Hang on. Let me wait till my husband comes in. My dog stop. Okay. Okay, so here it is. We're back. We're gonna take these and we're gonna cut them into little strips, and I'm gonna lightly spray them with some canola oil and we're gonna throw them with a little bit of salt and throw them into my air fryer. I wanna let you know, these are also fun to cut up into like little triangles. And put just like a little bit of sugar. You could use some kind of sweetener and cinnamon. It's great dessert. The other thing I use is in the air fryer, you can turn these into like little pizzas. It's a great low carb option, especially if you're not into cauliflower crust. That's not me. Anyways, okay, I'm gonna show you how to do this real quick. All you do is cut your tortillas into strips. In retrospect, maybe I would have cut them a little bit thinner. I don't know, depending on how thick or thin you like them. It's all a matter of preference. You just put them on your tray for your air fryer or your basket, whatever you're gonna do. Spray a little bit of the cooking spray on it. I put a drop of salt. I put them in, probably, you're gonna have to keep an eye on them. I put them in 390 degrees, probably did about 4 minutes on each side. So I've decided I'm gonna use a 1/4 cup about on top. You could probably use like an 1/8, but when I do the macros, I'm gonna use a 1/4, and I'm using the low-fat Trader Joe's Mexican cheese. I think Kraft makes one. A lot of brands make like a low-fat mixed cheese. Okay, so this we're gonna add on top while it's still hot. Okay, have my soup. It's all ready. It is looking good. Super hungry. It's taking me a while because I have tortilla chips, I have pasta going. A lot of things going for my kids, but that's all good. And here's mine. I even have regular chips going for Elena. So I'm gonna try it with the lower carb tortillas. Cheesy good. Guys, these are great. Oh, this is such a great idea. I hate eating on camera, but I wanna try it for you guys. This is so good. You guys need to give this a try. If you're trying to like lower your carbs and still eat delicious foods. Sorry, that's my dogs. This is so good. You guys, I hope you give this a try. I really do. And thank you guys for staying to the end. Oh, trivia question. What does O&M stand for? Orientation and mobility. My sister's daughter had to stay, she has a teacher that teaches her how to use her cane, public transportation, being out in the community with lower vision. It's actually a really cool job, and we need more of them in America. So you guys should think about becoming one. Okay, I hope you guys give this a try, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.